majority of moms watching this don't have in their house, but you think they need to go get ASAP? Just one thing.
A helmet.
A helmet? I would have never thought that.
I know.
Welcome back to the third episode of the Real Mom Talks. I'm Angel, your host, and as always, I want to ask God to come into this space and lead it, to open our hearts and lead our words to say something that another mom needs to hear. Today, we're diving into faith-based parenting and what it looks like on everyday life when our faith is really being tested in motherhood. This mother today is a mom of 7 who has a passion for teaching families about disaster readiness. Thank you. So we're going to jump right into it and ask you, what does faith-based parenting look like in your house? What is the day-to-day? Are you waking up praying together, or what does that look like?
That's beautiful. Beautiful question. So what it looks like in our household is I definitely start out with the 5-year prayer line that we get on in the morning.
Okay.
And we, that's about a 2-3 hour thing, but it's always playing in the background.
Okay.
So when my children get up, they hear that. Typically, I want them to pray in the morning, but sometimes it does not go as planned.
Okay.
So that's being
But
a
we
mom.
got the prayer in the background playing.
Yes, and
okay.
then we have conversation, and we're listening to the minister who comes on, that they play on the line. And then morning ritual, which is getting up, getting school clothes together,
Right.
Lunches, they get dressed, they pack their lunch, and just having a good day. I give them affirmations, loves, kisses
Yes.
every morning, letting them know that they're going to be great and it's going to be a great day for them. So that's typically how we start.
Yes, I love that. Okay, another question I have for her. What moment in motherhood made you realize that faith and God had to be at the center of what you were doing with your children?
Oh, that was from the beginning.
Yeah.
I believe that was instilled in me when I was a child from my mom. Just seeing that. Like we were, I was raised in Islam, so that was what we do. Pray,
Right.
fast, and I'm watching my mom pray. I'm watching her do certain things, so it was just basically part and instilled in me. And I realized also that children have a better mindset when they know that God is involved. And this world takes God out of everything, and we don't want to do that. So I always tell them there's nothing that you get in this world that does not go from having, Allah in your life.
Right, for sure. He is definitely the author of all the good that comes to us. And what lesson in your faith is one that you feel like you have to model with them? Is it your eating habit? Is it your prayer and you're connecting on that level? Is it affirming, your belief system? Like, what does that look like? That one thing that you're like, I can't compromise this, or I can't make it look any different. This is what it is, and this is what, I'm leading with.
Yes. My biggest thing is making Allah sufficient. That has been my number one thing. So no matter what I go through, not stressing out like, when your bills are due or things are needed, if we don't have it, I just say we don't have it, we'll get it in time.
Right.
Just having them to learn to rely on that higher source, no matter what they're going through, because they're going to need that in their everyday life.
Right. And sometimes it's very easy to think,
Yeah.
if mommy can't do it, it's not going to get done.
Yeah.
But letting them know that it's a bigger person, to handle it is definitely important.
Yeah. Or redirection.
Right. That's true as well. Try a different way.
Yes.
This didn't work out. Let's move it and try another way.
Absolutely.
Basically, what are you doing to make how do sure
Mm-hmm.
they're not following you and your, already agreed upon, and they're following God and they're getting to know Him and they're creating that bond with Him on their own? What are you?
Absolutely. So first, of course, I lead by example. And I always let them know, you may see other people who may profess what they believe, but they may not be living that life.
Practice.
But we can't judge them on that. We have to understand that everybody's going through their walks of life and they're learning, and life is hard, and everybody has a different journey in that. So I'm always letting them know that, whatever journey you choose, it's your choice. I can't force you to do anything that you don't want to do. And even with Islam, I don't force it on my children.
Right.
I told them that we're going to live this type of lifestyle in the household, but when you become an adult, you get to make those decisions.
Right.
Even now, you already have a thought of what you want to do when you get older. So,
Right.
I can't. Sometimes I will say, you have an option. I always give them choices. You're going to go to the mosque,
Right.
but you can choose to go 2 days out the month. force them to go every time I go. I don't force anything on them. I just give them options.
And that's beautiful because I always see them at the mosque. So that's beautiful
Yeah,
that they want to be there.
Yeah, they choose. I don't force it. You know, my oldest son, he registered. He's 19, so I didn't force that on him. He did it on his own. So.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. And I think that you do. You lead by a great example. That's why I wanted her on this faith-based conversation because, you know, she leads with such grace. You know, she doesn't really like poke the bear too much. You know, you find a lot of people who are so gun-ho in their faith that they're like, you know, oh, this mom is out of line and this is out of line. You know, she has 7 and she's balancing it so beautifully. Now, you know? I want to get into a little bit about preparing moms for disasters. You know, we all know right now in November, a lot of moms are going without any government assistance. The shutdown has happened. And, you know, while that is a very scary reality for some people, you know, we have people like Taquela, Sister Taquela, that we can go to, and she can give you some guidance and some steps that you could take to prepare yourself where you wouldn't have been, you know, expecting the unexpected. You would have already had some things in your home to secure your children. So and, you know, the first question I have, during a pandemic or a crisis, what would be one of the first things that you would tell a mom to secure for her and her children?
Absolutely. So the first thing I would say, more so, the first thing I would actually say is your spiritual, your mind. That's first.
No,
because
seriously.
if you're all over the place, if you're panicking, if you are going crazy or you're already feeling doubt or you feel like, oh, we're not going to make it, then you're already setting the stage for that and you're setting that for your children. So the first thing I would say is don't panic about anything. You know, they always have that saying that, you know, God would never give you more than you can handle. So we know that it may be heavy. It may be hard, but we can still get through and we can still endure. So that's the first thing. And then I would say to start with like the basics of necessities, which is food, water, and more so shelter. So those are going to be your basic necessities. And I would tell the mother to go out and start getting water. Water right now, you know, if you're going to buy it, it's $1 and some change. You can still fill up, you know, water. You can buy a purification system to be able to just do it from your faucet if you need it. But we can't survive long without water. And with that, if something happens to our water supply system and they tell you you can't drink it, how long are you able to survive if you have no water in your house?
Right,
you know
because
what I mean?
that tap water, it could easily... I think, what is it, like a switch they have that the water could be off in a moment, you know?
Or and contaminated.
Or contaminated. We've seen that as well. So, people don't think that having bottled water is vital because we get water out of our sink. We get it out of our tubs, you know? But like she said, it could literally be that moment that they contaminated. Somebody put something in it that we have no control over. How have you engaged them at their different ages to be involved with being prepared for disaster?
Absolutely. So I started like my oldest son maybe when he was about 7 or 8. So they have a program in each state that's called like CERT. It's Community Emergency Response Training. It's like some states is 16-hour training, and some states is a little longer. Atlanta is definitely a little longer, so I think it's an 8-week program.
Oh, wow.
But it's only like maybe 4 hours that you go. But that's the first thing that I did.
You put your son in the class?
We did it together.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we did it together. And they teach you like how to put out fires with a fire extinguisher. They teach you the fundamentals of disaster preparedness. They teach you the fundamentals of first aid and you know CPR and all those things, because a lot of times our children don't know. And a lot of times as parents, we're stocking up and we're storing, but what if something happens to you? You know, so I always thought about that. I also worked at like schools or like MUI as well, where I brought in kits that they made by hand in the school. Oh, wow. So, so I had the parents to invest a few dollars. I'm like, the investment is coming back to you. And then I brought in all the items that was needed, and we literally, and they had such, every time I do it, they have such an amazing time because we're talking about why we're using these items, why we're putting these items in the bag, how important it is. So it's a fun activity. You know, you can go out with your children, and the parents like, did you tell my children to bring Q-tips and, you know, cough drops? You know, and they, you know, so now the parents are now reminded of what they need to have.
And they're getting engaged too.
So the curriculum would be the bag or first aid kit. We also did first aid kits. So, you know, I had them go get Band-Aids and things. So the thing is, you want to make it engaging for them. You want to make it to where they feel excited. So like when something happened, they'll run and be like, I'm gonna go get my first aid kit.
Right.
It's the time I need to get my go bag.
Right.
So they're excited.
Right.
You know, you don't want to put fear in them about it. You want to make it, you know, we're gonna get through whatever we need to get through by having the things that we need.
Right. And what do they say? Proper preparation
prevents poor performance.
There you go, you know, and that's what we want from our children. We want them at high performance with or without us, you know, so being prepared is definitely key. Absolutely. So we're taking away engaging for them, and we're making sure that they are aware of what they're doing, why they need the items, and what they do for them, you know, in that time. What's one thing that you would say in your disaster preparedness ready bag, your like go-to item that you know majority of moms watching this don't have in their house, but you think they need to go get ASAP? Just one thing.
A helmet.
A helmet? I would have never thought that. I would have never.
I know.
A helmet?
Yes.
Okay, give me more info. What's the helmet?
So the helmet is like for like a hurricane or a tornado, when something can fall on your child's head or your head. So we know that if something hits the head at a high speed, then you can be knocked out and your children can be knocked out. So I know it sounds strange, but
no, I can think of 100 reasons why I need one now that you said it.
So that's one of the first things. Like if you know that there's a possibility a tornado can come, then they need to know where those helmets are, and so you have it in in your bag or your kit or your car somewhere where you just never know.
Right, a helmet. Okay, I love that. Wow, I thought I knew something about disaster preparedness, but I definitely wouldn't even thought of that one at all. Can you tell us about a time that you had a disaster or something had happened like COVID or anything it's so much that has happened in the world nowadays that you can pull from. But in one of those moments where you had to depend on your faith and nothing else, like you had no other resource other than God or, your faith.
Yeah, I would say COVID. You mentioned COVID.
Yes.
I mean, that was,
a scary time.
Yeah, it was, but I honestly was not afraid at all. I just was like, because I was ready. Like I was
prepared.
Like, okay,
you was like, this is my time to shine.
Like, let's do this. I mean, and then of course we had other things. Like we had a power outage maybe last year, and it was the dead of winter, so nothing in the dead of winter, and that was a lot. So, but we had the firewood. We turned the fireplace on. We cooked from there, the little portable stuff. Like I went through the whole motion of it. Right. And again, my children weren't like, they thought we was just living the life.
They was ready.
Yeah,
they was like, probably telling these stories to their friends.
Absolutely.
Like, oh, y'all was out of everything? Oh, we had Navy beans. Right. We had rice for dinner.
Yes,
like,
so it's simple, but it's good to test, because even though I do test, it's different when you're actually going through it and to see how prepared you are and see everybody's emotions and how everybody think and feel, who's afraid. Like we slept together on a little pallet on the floor right in front of the fireplace. I kind of stayed up because of I'm
Mama
making
bear.
Sure exactly that the house don't burn up before the morning, but it just works out. And that's why I want to prepare families, because you want to have that feeling. You don't want to have the feeling of, oh, I can't feed my children. Oh, we're going to be cold tonight. Oh, we can't eat. You don't want to have that feeling.
Right.
You know what I mean? You want to be as prepared as possible. And even if you don't have what you need, you have at least some of the things that you need. You don't have all.
It's so much comfort in being able to secure your family in those time of needs, for sure. Yeah. I know that was like a big win for your family. Like I can see it now, because I know everybody was scavenging during COVID. It was nothing in the stores, like literally. You couldn't even find a case of water. You had
paper.
Toilet paper. You never realize those things that we use every day and we take them for granted until we don't have access to them. And then it's like, I learned a lot about go bags growing up, in the Nation of Islam. But when I actually experienced COVID, I too was not like panicking, but I was like, wow, this is really happening, that, people are fighting at the stores and like I had just had a baby. So
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I couldn't go in the stores if I wanted to, because of what was going on out there. So as moms, it happened once. What says that it will not happen again? So that's why I really wanted her to come on here and talk to us, because I have children now, and if we're not prepared in our homes, like, we're gonna be looking outward to secure our children, our babies, and that's just not okay. It's not okay. Okay, so we're gonna wrap this up, and before we leave, we're gonna have her show us a couple items that we can go out and purchase to get our prepared disaster items together. Sis, but before we close this out, we're gonna play a quick game of this or that, motherhood edition. Okay? So the first one we're gonna do: how do you reset your spirit in the morning? Pray first or journal first?
Pray first.
Okay. Which one usually comes out first when teaching your children? Gentle reminder or tough love?
Quick. Gentle does come out first.
Okay. Yeah. You lead with gentle?
I do have tough love, though.
Okay. You like, I'm going to follow up with that tough real quick if you don't understand. Yes. Okay. How do you connect with God most during the week? Are you a quick prayer in the morning, or you praise music throughout the kitchen?
Just the quick prayer.
Quick prayer in the morning? Okay. And what do your children learn most from watching you? Teach by words or teach by example?
Example.
Teach by example? Mm-hmm. I love to hear that. Yes. Okay, and last but not least, what fills your heart more as a mom? Early bedtime or a peaceful late night chat with your children?
The peaceful late night chat.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I'm such a go to bed.
I know, yeah.
I'm such a go to bed.
So like, really? It's 8:01, you're supposed to be asleep right on the dot.
Right.
Yeah,
I love that
I'm
though.
opposite of that. Yeah, I'm not.
You're like, let's chat about it.
Absolutely.
Before the night
yes.
ends. I love that.
That's me.
Well, you heard it first from a mom of 7. She's chatting with them before bed, okay? And again, I want to thank you for coming on the show and sharing your wisdom with us. Where can the people that's watching find you on social media or a website?
Okay. Right. They can find me at ARC Survival Surplus, ARKSurvivalSurplus.com, or at Divine by Nature 1, and I'm on all social media platforms as that, even YouTube.
Okay, yes. Perfect. All right. So now we're going to have a little treat. She's going to show us a couple items that she has right now and that we should get for our ready-to-go bags. All right. Okay.
So first, my book, Disaster Readiness for Children. This is good to teach the children what they should have, and it kind of goes over some basic items of things in each book. And at the end of the book, it has like a survival kit list of all different type of things that you all can pick up for the children. So, That's and I do have one for adults too. The one for adults is more, really going through 30 days of how to prepare. So every day you can get one item. The next day it just walks you through that process at the end of the book, where you can find some of those items. And just basic, you can use any type of bag for preparing for disaster. So I don't want you to go out and be like, I gotta buy this type of bag. If you want to be technical, you can get a waterproof bag, which works better. But any type of backpack, just to start, you just want to start. So you can get any type of backpack that has pockets and enough room for you to fit your items in here. You typically want to put a change of clothes in there. You want to put water, some food, and this is just an example. This is some freeze-dried navy bean soup. And you just add hot water, and it lasts 25 years. So this is something that you can put in. It's very light, because you don't want to weigh the bag down and make it super heavy, where if your children have to carry it, you don't want them to have to carry something so heavy. So this works perfectly. Add some water to it. You want to have a first aid kit. You want to make sure you have, you can build your own, or, buy one from the store, but just make sure it has the basic necessities of what you may need. Some of the smaller kits don't have a lot. And then you want a lamp or lantern. This works pretty good if there is a power outage, especially like bathrooms and things. Back in the day, we used to use candles for everything, but you don't want to use candles because it's dangerous.
Oh, wow.
For children especially. So, and it does also
cool.
change. And this is flashing in case there's an emergency. So you want to have something very simple like that where you can still see. Again, I was speaking on the helmet.
Yes,
any
the
type of helmet. You can go to the Goodwill. You can go to any type of store to find a helmet like this, just to have it. You can set it in the closet or in your trunk of your car because you just may never know. Something could be hailing and you outside. So you want to have something very simple. And then lastly, just to show you, this is just an emergency survival blanket.
Oh, wow.
These are really good to have because you just never know where you are and you may need to cover up yourself. It may be cold somewhere. So these are very inexpensive and very easy for you to store in your kit and in your bags. And then again, water packets and things like that you can have in your kits. And then again, you can put other things, but just make sure you don't weigh your bag down with a little bit too much.
Right.
So.
Okay,
Yes.
thank
You're
you.
welcome.
We appreciate her.
Absolutely.
Yes. Well, again, thank you for being on our show today. It was such a good conversation,
Yes, it really
and
was.
we learned so much. We have so much to go home and prepare our minds, our spirits, and our children for
Absolutely.
disaster, you know. Next time, thank you for joining us on The Real Mom Talks. Peace.